House, let's take a look at how Ivanka and Tiffany's bond grew over the years, and how it will continue to evolve as members of the most powerful family in America. Coast to coast. Tiffany, the only child from Donald Trump's marriage to Marla Maples, grew up in Calabasas, California, about 3,000 miles away from her half-sister Ivanka's home in Manhattan's Trump Tower. Despite the distance, not sharing a mother and a large age gap, Ivanka is 12 years older than Tiffany, the two reportedly remained very close. Ivanka told People magazine, "We would see each other on all of the holidays and talk to each other frequently. She's my little sister. I've been close to Tiffany her whole life and I really love her." Helping hand. Unsurprisingly, growing up in California greatly limited Tiffany's physical access to her father and her father's fortune. As a result of the distance, Tiffany turned to her sister to ask for help getting her piece of the pie. In her book, The Trump Card, Ivanka recalled a time in which Tiffany went to Ivanka for advice on how to ask their father for a credit card. Ivanka wrote that Tiffany just wanted some of the same privileges the rest of her siblings enjoyed. So Ivanka used her own influence on her father to push the request through. The art of that deal involved Ivanka convincing Donald Trump to give her a credit card with a small monthly allowance as a Christmas gift that year, and the strategy worked. It wasn't the last time Ivanka would step up to help her sister find her way into the glitzy lifestyle of her East Coast-based family. Some might assume that because of Donald Trump's major presence in New York City that he was the one who landed Tiffany an internship with Vogue magazine in 2011, but it was actually Ivanka who arranged the whole thing. Hey, what are big sisters for? Packing those bags. After graduating from the University of Pennsylvania in May 2016, Tiffany moved to New York City, where her bond with Ivanka grew even stronger. Ivanka said that Tiffany spent weekends with her family, often playing with her children while she lived in the Big Apple. But with Tiffany's sights currently set on law school, the sisters' close proximity to each other may not last for long. In December, it was reported that Tiffany had gone on a tour of Harvard Law School. Ivanka, meanwhile, has relocated to Washington, D.C. with her husband, Jared Kushner, who was tapped to become a senior White House advisor. During that time, though, Tiffany has taken some notes from Ivanka's style and public profile playbook, so perhaps their fashion interest will continue to bridge the physical divide. Hey, it's not like they haven't survived a long-distance relationship in the past. Major assets. For some, the presence of Ivanka and Tiffany in Donald Trump's presidential campaign was highly instrumental to earning him votes for the White House, particularly when it came to tempering the subject of his alleged scandals with women. Their shared time spent on the campaign trail may have also strengthened the relationship between the sisters, who appeared to be inseparable as they traveled across America on behalf of their dad. That said, the influence of the sisters was not completely equal the whole time. Ivanka is often described as playing an influential and powerful role on her father's life, so much so that some people even joked she'd be filling in as First Lady in the White House. Meanwhile, Tiffany was the only adult-age Trump kid who did not become part of Trump's transition team, and she wasn't even fully visible on the promotional front until later on in the game. Playing favorites. It's no secret that Ivanka is presented as the golden child among her siblings. Trump himself has admitted to favoring his eldest daughter in the past, and so have Ivanka's brothers. Tiffany, meanwhile, appears to be playing catch-up when it comes to her relationship with her father, after years and years of literal distance. To this day, she's often referred to as the forgotten Trump, much to her mother Marla Maples' dismay. With Ivanka at her side, though, there's a good chance Tiffany's not going to be forgotten again anytime soon. Thanks for watching. Click the Nicki Swift icon to...
Hello, everyone. Thank you for all being here and for the incredibly warm welcome. On behalf of the United States and the 150 other countries represented in this room, thank you for hosting the Global Entrepreneurship Summit here in Hyderabad, a city that is quickly emerging as the innovation hub of India. And thank you, Prime Minister Modi, for joining us here today, and for all that you are doing to build India as a thriving economy, a beacon of democracy, and a symbol of hope to the world. What you are achieving here is truly extraordinary. From your childhood selling tea to your election as India's Prime Minister, you've proven that transformational change is possible. And now you are bringing that promise to hundreds of millions of people across your country. Thank you. To the people of India, I want to congratulate you as you celebrate the 70th anniversary of your independence. You are celebrating it as the world's largest democracies and one of the fastest growing economies on earth. Through your own enterprise, entrepreneurship, and hard work, the people of India have lifted more than 130 million citizens out of poverty. A remarkable improvement, and one I know will only continue to grow under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. All of you are helping India's middle class reach its goal of nearly 500 million people by 2030. You have opened new universities across the country. Your doctors and scientists are discovering medical cures and life-saving technologies. Your engineers and your architects have built modern wonders that grace your skies. And Indian spacecraft have traveled to the moon and to Mars. The people of India inspire us all. This is the first time India has hosted the Global Entrepreneurship Summit. It is a symbol of the strength and friendship between our two people and the growing economic and security partnership between our two nations. As President Trump said earlier this year, India has a true friend in the White House. I would like to thank the State Department for co-hosting this incredible gathering. I would also like to thank Governor Narasimhan and all elected Indian officials who are here with us tonight for welcoming us to your beautiful country. Thank you. It's incredible to be in this ancient city brimming with transformative technology. Now, your tech centers may even outshine your world-famous biryani. Maybe. CEOs like Microsoft Satya Nadella went to school right here in Hyderabad. Just a few kilometers away, T-Hub's brand new facility is set to open next year and will become the largest incubator in Asia. In this city of pearls, the greatest treasure is you, the dreamers, the innovators, entrepreneurs, and leaders who never give up, never abandon your aspirations, and always strive for a better tomorrow. Today, we come together to celebrate what is happening here in India, what is happening in the United States and all over the world. Entrepreneurs are revolutionizing our economies and improving our societies. You are rewriting the rules. You have the inspiration and drive to serve our communities through the projects you start and the businesses you build. You have the grit, the perseverance, and the will to succeed. Each of you started with an idea. You've worked long days and nights to code the next robot, create the next app, find the next cure, and discover the next breakthrough to improve the lives of millions of people. Some may have tried to convince you that the risks are too great, the rewards too small. But you are here today because you are not afraid to fail. You want to own your future. So I want to congratulate you on all that you have already accomplished. And I especially want to congratulate the women entrepreneurs here with us today. Thank you. This year's summit is focused on a theme that is key to our future: women first, prosperity for all. I'm proud to say that for the first time ever, women make up the majority of the 1,500 entrepreneurs selected to attend this summit. I see all of you out there. Only when women are empowered to thrive will our families, our economies, and our societies reach their fullest potential. As a former entrepreneur, employer, and executive in a male-dominated industry, I've seen firsthand that all too often, women must do more than their male counterparts to prove themselves at work, while also disproportionately caring for their families at home. After my father's election, I saw an opportunity to leave my businesses for the privilege of serving our country and empowering all Americans to succeed. Our administration is advancing policies that enable women to pursue their careers and care for their families. Policies that improve workforce development and skills training, and policies that lift government barriers and fuel entrepreneurship so that Americans can turn their dreams into their incredible legacies. In the last decade, women have made remarkable strides in starting new businesses. Globally, between 2014 and 2016, entrepreneurship activity amongst women has increased by 10%. In the United States, within the last decade, the number of women-owned firms has grown by 45%. Even more promising, minority women have started nearly 8 in 10 new woman-owned businesses. Today, more than 11 million women in the United States own businesses. They employ nearly 9 million workers and generate over $1 trillion in revenue. Many women become entrepreneurs and job creators out of necessity. Some weren't given the flexibility they needed at work to care for their families. Others lacked professional sponsors or weren't given a fair shot at a promotion. Instead, women, like the many here today, are charting their own courses and achieving incredible feats. Fueling the growth of women-led businesses isn't simply good for society, it's good for our economy. One study estimates that closing the gender entrepreneurship gap worldwide could grow our global GDP by as much as 2%. The women in this room can lead the way in closing that gap and ushering in a new era of greater prosperity. Yet despite the soaring rate of female entrepreneurs, women still face steep obstacles to starting, owning, and growing their businesses. We must ensure women entrepreneurs have access to capital, access to networks and mentors, and access to equitable laws. In developing countries, 70% of women-owned small and medium-sized businesses are denied access to capital. The result has been a nearly $300 billion annual credit deficit for women entrepreneurs in the developing world. In the United States, a Harvard Business Review report found that investors ask men questions about their potential for gains, whereas they ask women questions about their potential for loss. This could in part explain why women entrepreneurs received less than 3% of venture capital funding in 2016. We are working hard to reverse this trend. The U.S. Small Business Administration, for example, increased lending to women by over $500 million this year alone. When it comes to networks and mentorship, roughly half of women in the United States say they have difficulty finding a mentor. Yet mentorship is critical to success, as each of you knows. Entrepreneurs need professional guidance to help them start and grow their business. In the United States, we are fostering mentorship through programs such as SCORE, a nationwide initiative where successful men and women coach those who want to become their own CEOs. And when it comes to equitable laws, while many developed and developing countries have made tremendous strides, there is still much work to be done. In some countries, women are not allowed to own property, travel freely, or work without the consent of their husbands. In even more countries, the cultural and family pressure is so great that women do not feel the freedom to work outside of the home. Our administration is striving to promote greater opportunity for women around the world, both through our domestic reforms and our international initiatives. This summer at the G20 conference, the United States was a founding member of a bold new initiative with the World Bank, the Women Entrepreneur Finance Initiative, also known as WEFI. This facility provides access to capital, networks, and mentorship for women in developing countries. WEFI is the first facility to support women entrepreneurs at this scale, and we anticipate it will be able to leverage in excess of $1 billion in public and private financing. This facility also seeks to address the legal and regulatory barriers that limit opportunities for women entrepreneurs. In the last decade, USAID has promoted women's entrepreneurship through a number of programs, including providing microfinance loans to women in Afghanistan and bringing internet access to women in Nigeria and Kenya. USAID Administrator Mark Green is here with us today. Where are you, Mark? Thank you, Mark. I want to thank Mark and the entire U.S. delegation for their tireless work to improve the lives of millions, both domestically and abroad. Further, as each and every one of you can attest, this summit is yet another powerful example of a U.S. initiative that connects entrepreneurs around the world with investors who believe in your mission and will champion your success. I want to thank the U.S. business leaders who have traveled all the way to Hyderabad for this inspiring event. I also want to congratulate the more than 350 American entrepreneurs who were selected to be with us here today to represent America's brightest talent. I think I found your section. Thank you. At home, our administration is committed to empowering women entrepreneurs through domestic reforms. In the past 11 months, we have expanded apprenticeship programs and prioritized STEM education to ensure that women and men have more opportunities to master the skills that drive progress in the 21st century. We have dramatically reduced job-crushing regulations, which disproportionately hurt entrepreneurs and small business owners. And we are laser-focused on passing long-overdue tax cuts. This will provide much-needed relief to working families and to businesses of all sizes. Also this year, for the first time ever, the President's budget included a proposal to establish a nationwide program for paid family leave. We are committed to supporting women and men who work both inside and outside of the home. When women work, it creates a unique multiplier effect. Women are more likely than men to hire other women, to give them access to capital, mentorship, and networks. Women are also more likely to reinvest their income back into their families and their communities. Here in India, I want to applaud Prime Minister Modi for his firm belief that the progress of humanity is incomplete without the empowerment of women. Just consider, if India closes the labor force gender gap by half, your economy could grow by over $150 billion in the next 3 years. As we kick off this 3-day summit, I encourage everyone here to come together, learn from each other, and find new ways to lift barriers in our society so that women are free to innovate, empowered to succeed, and able to leave our children a brighter future. As we strive for change, we must never forget that the best hope for our future is far greater than any single government policy. The source of our success is found in the spirit, the drive, and the talent of our people. Here with us today from San Francisco is Dara Das. Dara spent over a decade working in underserved communities around the world. She witnessed firsthand that many times people need very simple items: a bucket for carrying water, a splint to treat an injury, a part to fix a generator. Dara co-founded Field Ready to provide life-saving supplies through 3D printing. Today, Dara's company responds to disasters all over the world and delivers humanitarian aid with cutting-edge technology. Through her innovative solutions, Dara is saving lives and bringing hope to thousands of communities. Thank you, Dara. Please stand up, Dara. Rajlakshmi Bhartakar joins us from Bangalore, India. When her son began having seizures at a young age, she decided to create her own solution to better monitor his health. Stand up. She invented a smart glove that predicts, manages, and detects different diseases and disorders using artificial intelligence. Now her company, Terra Blue, aims to make specialty healthcare accessible in even the most remote places in India. Rajlakshmi, your courage and determination is truly remarkable. Congratulations. Thank you. Also here with us today is Rayan Karmalova from Azerbaijan. Rayan, please stand up. You all won't believe this, but Rayan is just 15 years old. But that has not stopped her from founding a company that harvests energy from rainwater. Rayan has a powerful motto: light up one house at a time. Rayan, each home you light up is illuminating the world. We are inspired by your brilliance and your hard work. Thank you. These women represent the vision, the ambition, the grit of every entrepreneur here today. You are saving lives, creating jobs, and bringing hope to our communities. You are transforming our societies one business and one customer at a time. You prove to the world that we have the power to rise above the challenges of our day and to pioneer new pathways forward and to leave our mark on this moment in history. Just think about how much better the world would be if all of us, men and women, are empowered to dream big, aim high, and work together towards a more just and prosperous future. A future where mothers and fathers can work hard to build a better life for their families, where boys and girls can go to school, discover their talents, and pursue their ambitions, and where people of all nations can live and work together in dignity and in peace. This is the future we can, will, and must build together. And this is the promise of the visionaries gathered in this room today. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you. 1 year ago, I introduced my father when he declared his candidacy. In his own way and through his own sheer force of will, he sacrificed greatly to enter the political arena as an outsider, and he prevailed against a field of 16 very talented competitors. For more than a year, Donald Trump has been the people's champion, and tonight, he is the people's nominee. Like many of my fellow millennials, I do not consider myself categorically Republican or Democrat. More than party affiliation, I vote based on what I believe is right for my family and for my country. Sometimes it's a tough choice. That is not the case this time. As the proud daughter of your nominee, I am here to tell you that this is the moment and Donald Trump is the person to make America great again. Real change, the kind we have not seen in decades, is only going to come from outside the system. And it's only going to come from a man who has spent his entire life doing what others said could not be done. My father is a fighter. When the primaries got tough, and they were tough, he did what any great leader does. He dug deeper, worked harder, got better, and became stronger. I have seen him fight for his family. I have seen him fight for his employees. I have seen him fight for his company. And now I am seeing him fight for our country. It's been the story of his life, and more recently, the spirit of his campaign. It's also a prelude to reaching the goal that unites us all, when this party, and better still this country, knows what it is like to win again. If it's possible to be famous and yet not really well known, that describes the father who raised me. In the same office in Trump Tower, where we now work together, I remember playing on the floor by my father's desk, constructing miniature buildings with Legos and erector sets, while he did the same with concrete, steel, and glass. My father taught my siblings and me the importance of positive values and a strong ethical compass. He showed us how to be resilient, how to deal with challenges, and how to strive for excellence in all that we do. He taught us that there is nothing we cannot accomplish if we marry vision and passion with an enduring work ethic. One of my father's greatest talents is his ability to see potential in people before they see it in themselves. It was like that for us too growing up. He taught us that potential vanishes into nothing without effort, and that like him, we each had a responsibility to work not just for ourselves, but for the betterment of the world around us. Over the years, on too many occasions to count, I saw my father tear stories out of the newspaper about people whom he had never met who were facing some injustice or hardship. He'd write a note to his assistant in a signature black felt tip pen and request that the person be found and invited to Trump Tower to meet with them. He would talk to them and then draw upon his extensive network to find them a job or get them a break. And they would leave his office, as people so often do after having been with Donald Trump, feeling that life could be great again. Throughout my entire life, I have witnessed his empathy and generosity towards others, especially those who are suffering. It is just his way of being in your corner when you're down. My father not only has the strength and ability necessary to be our next president, but also the kindness and compassion that will enable him to be the leader that this country needs. My father has a sense of fairness that touches every conviction he's held. I've worked alongside of him for more than a decade now at the Trump Organization, and I've seen how he operates as a leader, making important decisions that shape careers and that change lives. I've learned a lot about the world from walking construction jobs by his side. When run properly, construction sites are true meritocracies. Competence in the building trades is easy to spot, and incompetence is impossible to hide. These sites sites are also incredible melting pots, gathering people from all walks of life and uniting them to work towards a single mission. There have always been men of all background and ethnicities on my father's job sites, and long before it was commonplace, you also saw women. My father values talent. He recognizes real knowledge and skill when he finds it. He is colorblind and gender neutral. He hires the best person for the job, period. Words and promises, no matter how visionary they sound, will only get you so far. In our business, you're not a builder unless you've got a building to show for it. Or in my father's case, city skylines. Most people strive their entire lives to achieve great success in a single industry. My father has succeeded in many, on the highest level and on a global scale. One of the reasons he has thrived as an entrepreneur is because he listens to everyone. Billionaire executives don't usually ask the people doing the work for their opinion of the work. My father is an exception. On every one of his projects, you'll see him talking to the super, the painter, the engineers, the electricians. He'll ask them for their feedback, if they think something should be done differently or could be done better. When Donald Trump is in charge, all that counts is ability, effort, and excellence. This has long been the philosophy at the Trump Organization. At my father's company, there are more female than male executives. Women are paid equally for the work that we do, and when a woman becomes a mother, she is supported, not shut out. Women represent 46% of the total U.S. labor force, and 40% of American households have female primary breadwinners. In 2014, women made 83 cents for every dollar earned by a man. Single women without children earn 94 cents for each dollar earned by a man, whereas married mothers made only 77 cents. As researchers have noted, gender is no longer the factor creating the greatest wage discrepancy in this country. Motherhood is. As president, my father will change the labor laws that were put in place at a time when women were not a significant portion of the workforce. And he will focus on making quality childcare affordable and accessible for all. As a mother myself of 3 young children, I know how hard it is to work while raising a family. And I also know that I'm far more fortunate than most. American families need relief. Policies that allow women with children to thrive should not be novelties, they should be the norm. Politicians talk about wage equality, but my father has made it a practice at his company throughout his entire career. He will fight for equal pay, for equal work, and I will fight for this too, right alongside of him. Americans today need an economy that permits people to rise again. A Trump presidency will turn the economy around and restore the great American tradition of giving each new generation hope for brighter opportunities than those of the generation that came before. In Donald Trump, you have a candidate who knows the difference between wanting something done and making it happen. When my father says that he will build a tower, keep an eye on the skyline. Floor by floor, a soaring structure will appear, usually record-setting in its height and iconic in its design. Real people are hired to do real work. Vision, becomes reality. When my father says that he will make America great again, he will deliver. We have a chance this year to reclaim our heritage as a country that dreams big and makes the impossible happen. Fortunately, Donald Trump is incapable of thinking small. When I was a child, my father always told me, Ivanka, if you're going to be thinking anyway, you might as well think big. As president, my father will take on the bold and worthy fights. He will be unafraid to set lofty goals, and he will be relentless in his determination to achieve them. To people all over America, I say, when you have my father in your corner, you will never again have to worry about being let down. He will fight for you all the time, all the way, every time. Maybe it's the developer in him, but Donald Trump cannot stand to see empty main streets and boarded up factories. He can't bear the injustice of college graduates who are crippled by student debt and mothers who can't afford the cost of the childcare required to return to work to better the lives of their families. Other politicians see these hardships, see the unfairness of it all, and they say, I feel for you. Only my father will say, I'll fight for you. The hard-working men and women of this country identify with my father. He is tough and he is persevering. He is honest and he is real. He's an optimist and he's a relentless believer in America and all of her potential. He loves his family and he loves his country with his heart and his soul. Politicians ask to be judged by their promises, not their results. I ask you to judge my father by his results. Judge his values by those he's instilled in his children. Judge his competency by the towers he's built, the companies he's founded, and the tens of thousands of jobs he's created. He's the single most qualified person to serve as chief executive of an $18 trillion economy. My father will call upon the best and brightest people from all spheres of industry and both sides of the aisle. A new set of thinkers to face our country's existing and future problems with fresh perspective and brave new solutions. Come January 17, all things will be possible again. We can hope and dream and think big again. No one has more faith in the American people than my father. He will be your greatest, your truest, and your most loyal champion. This is the fighter, the doer that you have chosen as your nominee. In ways no one expected, this moment in the life of our country has defined a mission and given it to an extraordinary man. He is ready to see it all the way through, to speak to every man and every woman of every background in every part of this great country, to earn your trust and to earn your vote. He earned that and much more from me a long time ago. I have loved and respected him my entire life, and I could not be more proud tonight to present to you and to all of America my father and our next president, Donald J. Trump.